The NBA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. They're coming to customers. Play just $5. Get $75 bonus funds when you sign up with the promo code NBA SGPN. And welcome, everyone, to the NBA Gambling Podcast here on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. Currently Friday morning, January 9th, around 11 a.m. Eastern. I'm Rose Scott Reichel, once again joined by Lonte Smith. Together, we're going to break down our thoughts for the games in the NBA on Friday. Lonte, long time no see. How's it going with you? What's up?
Yeah, it's been a while, man. It's been a long while, schedule changing and everything. But yeah, man, I'm good. I'm good. Glad to be here. We got a good. This is a good card, man. It's a really good card. Really good sports weekend. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I will point out, though, yesterday we were supposed to have 4 games. We had 3 because the Miami game got suspended because of condensation on the court. So, right move there. You want to make sure to prioritize player safety. Only 3 games, though, competitive. Indiana finally got Carlisle the milestone win. Took about 9 years, but he finally got the win. So, congratulations to Carlisle and nice win for Indiana. You saw Minnesota beat Cleveland. Nice win there. And Utah, of course, being at home, won again. What else is new? But either way, 3 games, 2 of them decided by 2 points, and all 3 were decided by less than 10. Competitive. Hopefully, we'll see the same thing with more games on the card here for Friday. Lonte, just quickly, anything that stand out to you from yesterday's games?
Not really, man. I mean, I know Anthony Edwards hit the big milestone. I think third youngest to get to 10K, if I'm not mistaken. So
Mm-hmm.
that was cool. Obviously, Carlisle with his milestone as well. But yeah, man, it was overall some good action. I mean, I think we went 1-1 with the lock and dog. Hit Utah at like 205 or something like that. And I think we hit the underdog, if I'm not mistaken. I know we had Laurie and somebody. I forgot who else we had. That I think we had Ann as well, but I can't remember the third one. But I'm pretty sure that we hit it. So yeah, hopefully we can carry that momentum over to this episode.
Cool. I see Trey, by the way, saying in the comment section he was there. So, yeah, I hope you got a refund because you paid for a basketball game and you didn't get one. So, hopefully, you got a refund for that. Yeah, that sucks. So, there you go. Sorry to hear that, Trey. Either way, though, before we get into any of the games here for Friday's schedule, a reminder that you can check out all of our free picks and podcasts at SGPN in one video occasion. We have an app. Check out the SGPN app. Free to download in the App Store. Type in SGPN, simple as that, and you'll get access to all of our free picks and podcasts in one easy location. So moving on into the actual card for Friday. First game, Raptors taking on the Celtics. Celtics laying 9.5 at home. The over-under is 223.5. Injury report. You're looking at Toronto potentially being without Ingram and Barnes. They're both questionable, so it's not confirmed yet, but keep an eye out for potentially shorthanded Raptors team. And Pirtle is still out. As for Boston, Minot is out, and Tatum, of course, is still out. First glance, it looks pretty high, but then you factor in Barnes and Ingram might not be playing, and they are, I think we'd agree, the best 2 players on this team. So I might have to take a wait and see approach with this matchup because Toronto, if they're very shorthanded, I don't want them. But if they end up playing, I think it's too many points. So I might have to, go for pleading the fifth here because I got to wait it out. I got to see what the injury report says closer to game time. What do you like in this game?
Yeah, I'm gonna get in early on Boston. I think it's a good bounce back spot for them after that loss to a shorthanded Denver team. I think Denver shot the hell out of the ball, if I'm not mistaken. But I do like what I see from Toronto. I mean, Toronto is typically a bet on team for me, except for last night or a couple nights ago when I bet Charlotte actually. So they've won 5 of 6. They covered 3 of those. They're on a 4-game winning streak. The defense have really picked up. They held 4 of the last 5 opponents under 110 points, and they're actually 1 game behind Boston for third in the East. So a lot to play for in this game. But I think Boston is a team that bounces back well. They're 2-0 versus Toronto this year. Held them to 96 in the last meeting. They're getting contributions from everybody. Kata had a 20 rebound game.
Mm-hmm.
Most rebounds in a game since who? Who do you think, Scott? If you had to take 2 guesses.
You mean for Boston or for the NBA?
Not for Boston. For Boston.
Okay, I was gonna say for the NBA, I was gonna guess Diabate, but I'm trying to think for the Celtics. That's a great question. I don't even know. I mean, do I think Tatum ever got to 20? Probably not, but My guess would be Tatum because I'm not going to stall here for about 10 minutes thinking of
Jared
people.
Sullinger, 2015, 2016.
I would not have guessed Jared Sullinger.
Yeah, nobody probably would have. But yeah, I like Boston to bounce back here. Nothing against Toronto. I just think you talked about the two best players being kind of compromised a little bit. The X-rays were negative on Ingram's thumb, so that's a positive. I just don't know how quick of a turnaround he's going to be able to, go out and be effective. So I like Boston laying the number, thinking that at least one of those guys gets ruled out, and we get some value here on the Boston side.
Yeah, I think that's why I'm considering Toronto team total under, because I think Boston defensively solid anyway, and if Ingram's not going to play and Barnes is not going to play, it's the Quickly show with RJ Barrett. Like, have fun. We'll see what happens. I know Quickly had the game-winning 3 against Charlotte earlier in the week, but with the injuries, I don't mind the under in the game, maybe Toronto team total under, but I think I'm just going to stay away until I get confirmation on who's going to play and who's not going to play for Toronto. Moving on to the next game, Philly is laying 3.5 on the road against Orlando. You're looking at the injury report. Embiid is questionable. What else is new? For Orlando, you still have no Franz and no Suggs, and you see Richardson is questionable. We know that Orlando had really an insane win against the Nets, where they fell apart again in the fourth quarter. You saw Diemon bank in a three-pointer, and then Paolo said, "Hold my beer, I'm banking in a three-pointer, and we're going to win this game." But either way, Orlando survived a fourth quarter implosion again to get the job done. Philly's been good lately. Now, Embiid's been very good, and he might not play, so keep that in mind. Head-to-head split 1-1 so far this season, but you are looking at Philly, who has been playing good basketball lately. You're looking at them winning 4 of their last 5, beat the Knicks on the road, beat the Mavericks on the road, beat the Grizzlies on the road. So they have been pretty good on the road in general recently. But we also know Orlando's a lot better at home than on the road. 3.5 on the road with no guaranteed Embiid. Do you think it's too much or do you think it's too little? Lonte, if you had to pick.
Yeah, I like Philly here, regardless of if Embiid plays or not, and that's kind of been my thing with them throughout the season. I think they're fine without him. They've shown to be good. They're playing extremely well. I thought that they would be. Now I didn't think they would be kind of take this route into being as good, but I thought they would be fine going into the East, especially with it being wide open. And they've shown it. Orlando's too inconsistent for me. They've traded wins and losses over like the last 12 games, so that's typical of an inconsistent team that you cannot trust. 2 of the last three wins have been by 2 points or less, and they were against Indy and Brooklyn, 2 of the worst teams in the NBA. And you just talked about how that transpired. They're 3-7 ATS the last 10. They don't really cover at home. 15-23 overall ATS. I do think the absence of Suggs shows up big here with Maxey and VJ, being on the perimeter. I know Anthony Black's playing extremely well, but again, he's not the guy to want to guard one of those shiftier guards. He needs to guard like a bigger Jamal Murray type of guard. Those type of guards, Maxey and VJ will give him trouble. So I like Philly. They're road warriors this year, 12-3-1 ATS on the road. They're 4-1 straight up in the last 5. Their offenses look really good, 130 points in 3 of the last 5 games. 2 of those have been on the road. So I'm going to trust them here in this spot against the inconsistent Orlando team. So give me Philadelphia.
Yeah, for me, it's the last point you made about Philly scoring 130 regularly over the last week. I like the over in the game at 226.5. I get Orlando stylistically can be painful to watch, especially late in games. They've played 2 times this season. They are a bit dated, but the first meeting landed 260. Second meeting landed 247. So I do think that these teams can get together and score some points. The Nets game was a rock fight for Orlando. Played Washington 232. They gave up 120 to Washington. Played Indiana, gave up 127. Played Chicago, gave up 121. And Philly's been involved in a bunch of games breaking 230 as well. So I like the over in this game. I think that the total's too short. I'll go for that as my main thoughts for this game. I see Trey mentioning VJ threes. I don't mind that. I think VJ can have a solid game. I didn't mind VJ blocks, actually. I think it was half a block at like plus 105. And VJ's actually been blocking some shots lately. So I didn't mind that too for Edgecombe. But I don't mind the threes. I think Maxey has a monster game, though, whether Embiid plays or not. Moving on to the next game. Pelicans taking on the Wizards. Where is the drop? Let me just quickly find it. Here it is. Yeah, these teams stink. Now, the Wizards made headlines. They traded for Trae Young. Might not play in this game. He's still injured, so keep an eye out for what could be a shorthanded backcourt because McCollum, of course, is no longer on the team, and Trae might not play. New Orleans, though, laying 2.5 on the road, which sounds dangerous just mentioning it. Trey Murphy's questionable. Alvarado's out, Bay is out, and Herb Jones is doubtful. For Washington, no Whitmore. Once again, Trey's doubtful. Besides that, they're fully healthy, but the team's not very good. So that's kind of the trade-off there. The Pelicans, we know, have been in really bad form lately. Washington's been kind of feisty recently. I wouldn't say they've been good, but you know what? They've kind of alternated some wins and losses, and that's actually saying a lot for the Wizards. As for the Pelicans, they had a decent stretch a couple weeks ago as they won 5 in a row. They've lost 9 in a row now, so this team's kind of falling apart. But Lonte, I'll ask you, because New Orleans is 2-14 on the road, straight up, and now they're laying 2.5. Counterpoint, the Wizards stink. So do you want to lay 2.5 with the Pelicans? Because I think Zion does have a great matchup, and that could be a reason why the Wizards are dogs, because they can't really match up on the interior with Queen and with Zion, which could be the problem. But Washington's been kind of feisty, and I think I'll take Wizards money line because the Pelicans right now can't win a single game. They have not won a game in basically 3 weeks. So I'll go for the Wizards money line, even though they are shorthanded.
Yeah, I agree with you there. The Pelicans have a lot of talent, but it doesn't blend well together. You talked about their 9 losses in a row. This is their fourth losing streak of 6+ games. This is their second 9-game losing streak. Now, obviously, a lot of that has been with guys in and out of the lineup. They're 1-9 straight up the last 10, 2-8 ATS, so they're not even covering numbers, even being dogs in a lot of these games. I like what the Wizards have been doing. They've covered 6 of the last 10. They're 5-3 straight up in their last 8. Probably the best stretch they've had in about 3 years. I like their young guys. They've won 2 of 3 at home. I think the Wizards are alive. I thought this should be probably around pick, to be fair. I like the over 240.5 or 241.5. Both teams should be able to get up and down and score. 11 of the 18 home games have gone over for the Wizards. So I expect a lot of pace here, a lot of points. So I'm going to take the dog and the over.
Yeah, I feel like if I want to take New Orleans, I would just take Zion stuff. I know it's going to sound dangerous, but I don't think the Wizards can stop the guy. If you want to argue for Washington defensively, then Sarr blocks is probably your move because New Orleans gets really a great matchup for centers to block shots because they have so many guys that want to attack the rim. And we know Trey Murphy is definitely an elite shooter. If he doesn't play, you might have even more slashing to the basket, which can result in more block opportunities. So I don't mind that as a potential angle if you want to go for Sarr blocks or if you want to go for Zion points. I think that makes sense, but I think I'd rather go for Zion points instead. I'll go for the Wizards, though. Look, for a team that's supposed to be terrible, and they are, don't get me wrong, they've been playing okay basketball for the last couple of weeks, and I understand that McCollum was a veteran leader on that team. I get that they're missing a pretty decent score because we know Trey's not going to play probably in this game. I still don't mind the younger guys. Maybe Sarr has a game here. Maybe you end up seeing Koulibaly or somebody step up. But I do think the Wizards at home are intriguing, mainly blindly fading New Orleans on the road, who's just 2-14 straight up, and they've lost 9 in a row. So I'll go for the Wizards in this one, but probably not a game I'm going to bet on. A reminder, I played the toilet bowl drop, so it's going to be one of the uglier games on the card. Keep that in mind. Moving on to the next game, you have my team hosting the Clippers. Clippers are laying 4.5 on the road, and the over-unders at 215.5. Injury report, Kawhi is a maybe. He rolled his ankle on a fan last game, so we'll see if he plays in this game. With Kawhi, you never know. We know that teams, especially the Clippers, seem to treat him like he's wrapped in bubble wrap for the entire season. So we'll see if he ends up playing in this game, but he did roll his ankle in the middle of last game. For Brooklyn, they are pretty healthy. Porter Jr. is probable, and besides that, you have a couple of other guys who are out, but nobody really substantial. For the Clippers, we know Derrick Jones Jr. is out, Bogdanovich is out, and once again, Kawhi is questionable. Lonte, I'll ask you, because the Clippers look good for a half against the Knicks. The entire game unraveled in the second half because they couldn't stop anybody. But the Knicks are also really good at home. So the Nets, we saw lose a heartbreaker to Orlando. They were getting dominated for most of that game and then had a nice comeback there in the fourth quarter. Once again, Dioman had a monster fourth quarter in overtime, but it didn't matter in the end. I'll go Clippers. They're still playing good basketball in general. I get the Nets have been dangerous, and they have been surprisingly competitive to a lot of people. But the Clippers have been one of the better teams in the league for the last couple of weeks, and I'm not going to overreact to one loss to the Knicks on the road. Yes, I know if Kawhi does not play, the team's going to be worse. I'm aware of that, but you still have Harden, you still have Zubac, you still have some pieces that I think are going to give the Nets problems. I'll go Clippers -4.5. Thoughts?
Yeah, so this opened 2.5, which I thought was completely wrong. I thought that was completely wrong, and the total opened 214.5, and even though it's only a point, I don't agree with that as well. But I do think the Clippers are short here. I do like the way the Nets have been playing. 8-7 the last 15. Like, they're playing better as a unit, and since they've got those younger guys like Demon to kind of, they just took the leash off of them. Like, you just got to let those young guys play and play through mistakes, and that's what they've been doing. I mean, Demon's been really impressive. I've been completely wrong about him. He's got 4 straight double-figure outings. He's done so in 8 of the last 9. He's shooting 17 of 32 from 3 during his 4-game double-digit streak. But again, I just don't know how they score enough to keep up with the Clippers. I mean, like, they're under 105 points in 3 of the last 4 games. The Clippers 7-3 ATS last 10, 7-2 last 9 straight up. So I just don't get where the disconnect is. I mean, they're 3-2 straight up in ATS the last 5, and 2 of those losses were against Boston and the Knicks, and at the Knicks. 2 of the better teams in the league. So I don't.
And they gave the Knicks problems for a half.
Yeah, I mean, they just had second half woes in both of those games. They were outscored 72-55 in the second half by the Knicks, and then 65-52 by Boston. So they were right there. I just don't get why they're getting discounted for those 2 losses. And I mean, I know Brooklyn's playing well.
Well, the Kawhi injury status is also
a
reason.
Yeah, but still, I don't think that's any indication. I think the number should probably be around like 6.5. The Clippers don't have to travel. They played in New York, so they've been there. They've been there a few days. I mean, hopefully they kept Harden, out of the clubs a little bit. But I mean, I think they'll be fine here. I mean, I like the Clippers. I like the under. Brooklyn's under in 20 of 34 this year. They're also under in 12 of 19 at home. Like I said, I don't know how they score. The Clippers defense has picked up, so I like Clippers and under. Maybe even a Knicks team total under if you don't want to take the full game.
Oh, you mean Nets team total under?
Yes, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I can get behind that. I mean, I'll go with the Clippers in this game. I see Renzo saying the Clippers play the Pistons tomorrow, so they might be overlooking the Nets. Definitely true. Counterpoint, though, to that, the Clippers are 13-23. You can't really overlook anybody. That's kind of my counterpoint there. But I think you're right. That's why I think Kawhi's going to sit tonight. I think it makes a lot of sense if you want to save him for the Detroit game. A reminder, he had 55 last time he played Detroit, so maybe you want to save Kawhi for that game tomorrow. But if you are paying attention to the schedule and you want to look at a potential overlooking spot, the Clippers make sense for the spot. I mean, we mentioned before the second half woes. I didn't mind Clippers first half, actually. For this game. They've been very good early recently. The late game stuff can be a bit tricky, but I do think they'll start off strong in this game. I'll go Clippers first half, around 2.5 for this game. Before we get into the rest of the card for Friday, a reminder they're brought to you by our sponsor, Kalshi. If you want to check out real money prediction markets available in every state, check out Kalshi. You can trade a ton of markets in sports, the NFL, college football, college basketball, NBA, NHL, and more. Plus, you can also trade props like first touchdowns. You can also check out a bunch of different markets that are not sports related. They have politics, they have weather, a lot of options. So once again, you can definitely find something to invest in. And a reminder, if you are new to Kalshi, we have a nice sign-up deal with them. Get $20 if you're new to the platform, if you use the code SGPN when you sign up for a new account. That's Kalshi, Kalshi, promo code SGPN for a free $20 at sign-up. We're also brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. We're going to give out an entry later on in the show. But if you want to check out Pick'em entries, chance to win 5,000 times your entry, pick higher or lower on player stats. They have you covered for the holiday season with Underdog Unwrapped. Unwrapped a ton of promos all throughout the holidays. And a reminder that they have a new offer for the customers. Play just $5. Get $75 bonus funds when you sign up with the promo code NBASGPN. Welcome back, everyone, to the NBA Gambling Podcast. Finished going through the first couple games for Friday. Time to go on into the next game. Thunder, who are benching basically half their team, still laying 5.5 against Memphis on the road. The over-under is 229.5. Injury report. We know Memphis is always injured. So for the injury report here, we have no Ja. We have no Pippen Jr. We have no Ty Jerome. We have no Edey. We have no Clark. We have no Conchar is doubtful, actually, but I'm assuming he's not going to play. Vince Williams and Coward are both questionable. For OKC, you have no SGA. You have no Hartenstein. You have no Chet. You have no Case and Wallace. You have no Jalen Williams. That is not J-Dub. That's the other one. But once again, both teams kind of got together and agreed to bench the entire starting lineup. So that's kind of what we got now. We have a fringe. Lonte, how do you describe this? A summer league game?
I would say I would say G League.
G League? Okay, fair enough. But see, I was trying to be generous because at least the summer league gets the occasional pro in there. They're just getting some reps out of the young guys.
J-Dub's in though, right? J-Dub's in, right?
J-Dub is in. That is correct.
Okay.
Yeah. So at least they got him, and we'll see what happens for the rest of the lineups, but both teams are very shorthanded. So, Lonte, I'll ask you, because OKC has been struggling lately in general. They barely beat the Jazz at home with a pretty full lineup. They didn't have everybody, but they had most people, and SGA bailed them out. But either way, the Thunder have just not been playing great basketball lately. But then again, Memphis has been competitive, but they're sitting a bunch of guys. So in this Summer League-G League game, what do you like?
Yeah, I mean, I like OKC. I think that the number is short still. I think it opened 4.5, and now it's up. As long as J-Dub's in, I mean, I kind of trust the ancillary pieces of the Thunder more than I do the Grizzlies. Although the Grizzlies guys, have played, more time together. I mean, I think the talent level is higher on OKC's end. And also, I mean, Memphis, they're just not a good team against elite teams. Like, they play well against the mid to lower level teams, but against the elite teams, they just can't beat them. They allowed 22 threes against Phoenix in their last game. They 18 turnovers. If they do that against OKC, I mean, OKC's going to bury them here. If you want to take a guess, how many games in a row has OKC beaten Memphis?
Well, are we including the playoffs last year?
Yeah, you can include that.
That's an extra 4 if you're including that.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to say 13.
15, close.
Okay, all right.
15 straight wins against Memphis. They own this team. Memphis, I mean, they playing hard from game to game, but again, obviously, it's dependent upon opponent. You got to have a checklist when you play OKC. Do you have ball handlers? Do you have multiple ball handlers and initiators? Memphis does not. Do you have on-ball defenders? Multiple, people who can guard the perimeter? They don't. I like OKC to bury him here, even without.
That's the funny joke, is that you're missing half your team. You just say, all right, let Dort and Caruso go crazy on defense for 30 minutes, and we'll see what happens.
AJ Mitchell.
So, that too.
And
so,
they just got so many guys.
I'll go with the Thunder as well, but I do recognize the Thunder long-term might have some issues, but not in this game. I think Memphis is too shorthanded for this game. Moving on to the next matchup, you have the Hawks against the Nuggets. The Nuggets are laying 1.5 at home. The over-under is 234.5. Injury report for this game. We know Denver's still very shorthanded, yet being competitive lately. For the injury report, you have, of course, no Joker. You have no Valanciunas. You have no Cam Johnson. Besides that, you have a bunch of probable tags. You have Murray, who's probable. You have Brown is probable. I see Jones is questionable, but I also see Aaron Gordon is probable. So once again, you might be getting a decent amount of reinforcements back, but no Joker. So keep that in mind. For Atlanta, you have the new era, the post-Trey era. The two guys who got traded for Trey might not play. McCollum and Kispert are both doubtful, but we know Atlanta this season has been better when Trey does not play. We're going to test this. We are fully experimenting with the Jalen Johnson keys, and we saw the first meeting this season was absolutely bonkers. Atlanta led by a ton. They choked it. Denver stole it 1-1 at home. Now, Lonte, I'll ask you, because we have seen Atlanta play better without Trey. Do you think Atlanta is going to pull this off, or do you think Gordon and Brown are enough reinforcements for Denver to win this game at home?
Yeah, you said Murray is good to go, right?
I see him listed as probable.
Okay, cool. Yeah, as long as Murray's in there and you got the reinforcements coming in, I like Denver, man. Denver, I love everything about them. I think this time without Joker has been kind of a blessing in disguise. You got those young guys stepping up, playing well. Like, you have all of these different pieces that you can probably, depend on in a playoff series that are getting valuable minutes right now. And I think that's really, really valuable going forward. Murray, I mean, not being talked about enough. I mean, without Joker in 4 games, he's averaging 26 points, 11.6 assists, 11.5 assists, 6.8 rebounds per game. He's averaging a career high 25 points per game. I mean, he's having one of the best seasons.
That's the thing about Murray, though, is that people have always said that Joker hasn't exactly had great help because he hasn't had an all-star teammate. Murray, I think, has proven that if he was the main person on an offense, you'd realize just how good at basketball he actually is. I know he's had injury issues and all, but Jamal Murray's really good. You don't
Really good.
accidentally kill the Lakers and win Western Conference Finals MVP, and you're actually not that good. No, Jamal Murray's a really good basketball
Damn good. Yeah, he's damn good, man, and he's showing it right now. I think that's great for the confidence going forward. Obviously, I think you can kind of tell Joker to take his time. Probably doing that anyway, but like the way that they've been playing,
All-Star break probably.
Yeah, I think so. So like I think the way that they've been playing has been remarkable. Although I think they went 3-4 on a road trip. I think the coaching staff was fine with that, with the 3 victories that they had and the way they've been playing. So I like Denver here at home. I know Atlanta's better on the road ATS than they are at home. And they're really good as a dog. But I think matchup-wise, they'll have a little something for Jalen Johnson. They got the Aaron Gordon back, so he'll be able to defend them a little bit here and there. I think Jamal Murray will have a field day with the Hawks defense. So I'm going to take Denver here as a short home favorite. I don't think you get Denver this short of a home favorite. So I'm going to take advantage here. I like Denver.
Yeah, I'm going to agree. I think this game's going to be close, though, so I don't mind Denver 1-10 if you want to take that approach. I don't mind the under in this game, actually. I understand the first meeting was very high scoring, but of course, without Joker, Denver had to reinvent the offense. Murray's done a good job at being the main catalyst for this offense, but you're looking at the actual scores lately. Denver's had some low-scoring games. They beat Boston on the road, hell of a win. That game landed 224. They beat Philly in overtime. That game did go over in regulation anyway. But either way, played the Nets, only scored 115. Played Cleveland, only scored 108. Beat Toronto 106-103. Some low-scoring games in there. And for Atlanta, played New Orleans. They only gave up 100. Played Toronto. They only scored 100. We've seen some low-scoring games from Atlanta lately. I don't mind the under in this game. You mentioned that Gordon coming back should help defensively. I agree. I think Brown playing as well should help defensively. There's a couple ways to get there. If Atlanta's competitive, maybe they're able to somewhat limit this Denver offense. Or if Denver wins, you look at Gordon, you look at the reinforcements defensively, and maybe they limit Jalen Johnson to a bad shooting game. I see a couple of paths there, but I don't mind the under in this game. I think 234.5 is too high of a number. I see Carl asking about the Porzingis issue. I see Porzingis is active for this game. The issue for Porzingis is kind of twofold. He has the worst immune system of any athlete in the entire world. He gets injured and he gets sick pretty much every week. And of course, in the past, had leg issues, but it's mainly illness during the winter. So that's kind of the issue. But right now, he's not listed at all. And Atlanta's defense is a lot better when Porzingis plays. I like the under for this game.
He's got a so I was hearing I think Brian Wayhorse was talking about this or something. So he's got like kind of a heart issue where his heart is like racing whenever he's just like doing nothing.
I thought he might have had POTS. I don't remember exactly what he had.
Yeah, but I don't know what exactly it's called, but I heard Windhorst, obviously, who would know, being one of the biggest insiders in the league. But yeah, they said it was somewhat of a heart issue to try to like get it under control, and they don't want to, you're dealing with a heart, obviously. So yeah, but yeah, I think that's the issue. So it's not him actually being sick; it's just they're painting it as an illness, and they're trying to just get that under control. That's what I initially heard. Now I don't know if anything changed. But
I don't know how much I fully buy into that, because if you actually have a serious heart issue, you wouldn't be playing in the games.
Yeah, I don't think it's like that serious. I just think that they're trying to like get it under control and make sure that it's not going to lead to anything serious.
I get it. I'm just saying it feels like the heart is, of course, a type of injury where you probably wouldn't let him play at all if there was any risk whatsoever. Not to mention Porzingis also missed a bunch of like playoff stuff last year, and that was a whole separate thing. So who knows? But he's listed for illness all the damn time, and he's listed probably more for illness than anybody else in the league. Moving on to the next game, which could be game of the night. We'll see. The Knicks taking on the Suns, and Knicks are laying 1.5 on the road, and the over-unders at 228.5. For the injury report for this game, Josh Hart is still injured. You have no Shamet. For Phoenix, you have no Jalen Green, but besides that, everyone else is pretty healthy. So we know Phoenix has been really good based on expectation this season, as the Suns are 22-15. Lakers don't look now. Suns closer than you might think in the rearview mirror. 12-5 at home. The Knicks we know are 24-13. Not good on the road though, as they are 7-9. Knicks had a nice win against the Clippers. The Suns we know have been very good at home, and they've been very good defensively, based on what we thought they were going to be this season. Do you think the Knicks should be laying 1.5 on the road? Because I don't. This team's not been very good in general recently. I'm not going to suddenly overcorrect and tell you They beat the Clippers at home. So suddenly I'm supposed to love this team. They have issues defensively with Brunson and Cat. They will always have problems. And Josh Hart not being there is a really big deal. Give me Phoenix at home on the money line. I think that getting minus 105, maybe even money if you shop around is intriguing. Give me Phoenix money line in this game.
Yeah, I think Phoenix should be favored by 1.5. I'll go on the record. I was completely wrong about Phoenix. I did not think they would be this good. So credit to Jordan Ott and the staff and the way he's got these guys playing. I think it's a bad matchup for the Knicks. I mean, well, actually, I'll backtrack. So since November, both of these teams have 20-plus wins. 2 of 9 teams to have 21 wins since that time. So that's credit to them. They've been playing well. Phoenix, they've covered 7 of the last 10. They've won 7 of the last 10, covered 9 of the last 10. They're 13-4 ATS at home. They got a really good home court advantage. I think we saw that whenever they were going to the finals with Chris Paul and Devin Booker. I mean, their defense has really kind of turned it around. They've held the last 4 opponents to 105 points or less. They're also coming off of a really good showing. Obviously, we talked about it with Memphis forcing 18 turnovers and making 22 threes. The Knicks, they give up a lot of threes. You talked about their defense. That pick-and-roll defense is poor with Brunson and Cat. So, yeah, I would look at Grayson threes. I would look at, Gillespie threes. I would look at Brooks. I would look at all those guys that have multiple threes. I think Grayson made 5 in his last game. So, I like the Knicks. I mean, I like the Phoenix here against the Knicks. I mean, the Knicks 2-8 ATS last 10, 5-12 ATS on the road. I mean, just drastic home road splits. So I like Phoenix here. I think Rome team's favorite. I wouldn't be surprised if they go off the favorite. Just way the money line and the juice is on several of these lines. So give me Phoenix at home.
Yeah, I see Lavish asking about a 50-point score promo. To be totally honest, I don't support bad sportsbook promos, so I'm just not going to have anybody for you. I'm not betting on somebody to score 50 in the NBA, especially for FanDuel, who's probably going to juice all the props because they know people are going to try to use the promotion for it. I'm not going to bother. I don't think it's worth anything. If you want to argue the usual guys like Luka or whatever, then sure, we'll get into that game in a second. But betting on somebody to score 50 in the NBA feels like an extreme donation, and I'm not going to bother. So sorry they're Lavish, but I'm not interested in random FanDuel, in my opinion, atrocious promos. So I'm not going to bother for that one. But if you wanted to go for anybody, Luka's the usual suspect. I don't mind Curry maybe against the Kings, but 50 is insane. Like, I'm just not going to bother. That's just not a promotion I would want to invest in personally. Moving on to the next game. Speaking of Curry, you have the Kings taking on the Warriors. You have the Warriors laying 14.5, who've quietly been really good for the last couple weeks. For the over-under 231.5. Injury report. You have no Sabonis and no Keegan Murray. Murray's going to be out indefinitely for Golden State. Gary Payton II is probable. Seth Curry, I forgot's on the team, but he's out for this game. We know the Kings stink. It's pretty well documented at this point. Warriors, though, 2 games over 500. They've been quite good over the past few weeks. They were able to beat Milwaukee. They have won 4 of their last 6. They have won 7 of their last 10. It comes down to if you think the Kings can stay competitive or you think they get buried. What are your thoughts? Because the Kings can occasionally sneak up on you, but it's mainly really bad hoops. So what do you think is going to happen in this game?
Yeah, it's tough. Sacramento, I know I've said this a couple times. I mean, I like their young guys. I really do, but they just got to get rid of Levine. They got to get rid of everybody and just start from scratch. They haven't started from the bottom. So, I mean, they got a good core. I think they drafted really well this year. They just got to let those guys go. I mean, and get a draft pick. I think Sabonis is probably going to be moved soon. I would keep Keegan, but if somebody would offer me something for him, I'd probably take him. I would probably take it just start completely over. But I mean, the Kings, they're on a 6-game losing streak. They've lost 6 straight on the road. The last road win was December 6th at Miami. They scored
That's such a classic Miami loss, by the way, just as a segue. But yeah.
They scored under 105 points in 4 of the last 5. I mean, Golden State, I'm not a fan of. I think they need a lot more. I thought they would be better than this, but I mean, it is Sacramento. They pretty much owned them. Sacramento did win the only meeting this year by 5 in November when they were at home. But I mean, the Warriors, they got Al Horford back. They got Melton back, who was playing well off of that ACL injury, that ACL surgery. So
I like Melton. Melton's a solid backup point guard.
Yeah, so they're gonna ramp him up a little bit more, but it would be Golden State or nothing for me. I mean, they haven't shown the ability to cover these type of numbers. I mean, they're 4 and 6 ATS the last 10, so I think the Kings can be feisty early. Maybe if you want to look Kings first half, Warriors full game, like I would look at that. But this matchup is something that I won't be watching at all. I mean, it's a good card, but I think this is one of those games that you have to skip over.
Yeah, I'm probably not going to bet this game, but I'll take the points. I think 14.5 is too many. You mentioned a second ago Golden State has not been good at covering these numbers. Looking at their actual home games, they have really barely covered these numbers. Played Milwaukee, they won by 7. These are only home games. Played Utah, won by 9. Played the Thunder, they punted the game. They got buried. Played the Mavericks, won by 10. Played Orlando, they won by 23. That's a cover. Played Phoenix, won by 3. Played Minnesota, lost by 7. Played the Thunder, lost by 12. Played the Pelicans, won by 8. Houston lost outright. Once again, they're barely covering this number. So even if you think the Kings lose, which I agree with, I do think 14.5 is a lot for a Golden State team that tends to let bad teams hang around. They'll win the game, but I think 14.5 is a lot. I'll take the points in this game. Moving on to the next one, we have a rematch. We have a deja vu game. Rockets taking on the Trailblazers. Rockets laying 6.5 on the road. The over-under 221.5. First meeting was wild. The Rockets won the game. Then they didn't because the game-winning tip-in by Eason was overruled, and the Portland ended up getting the win in that game. Avdi, I believe, at 41 in that game. For the injury report, Drew Holiday is still doubtful. Jeremy Grant out. Scoot Henderson, once again, not playing. Murray's out. Tyball's out. Wesley's out for Houston. Still have no Şengün, and we know Van Vliet, of course, is out for the season. Deja vu games tend to the opposite of what the first game was, so if Houston showed up and buried this team, it wouldn't shock me. At the same point, though, Portland's been good lately. Avdia's been really good. He should be an all-star. He's been really, really solid. I've mentioned this many times on the show. I am not sold on Houston. I think Houston has serious flaws, mainly lack of spacing. But it feels like Houston is just unable to put teams away. And I've seen it on numerous occasions so far this season. I think Portland at home will hang in there, maybe win the game again, but I do think 6.5 is too large. I think Portland's proven, even with the injuries they have, they can be dangerous. Avdi at point guard is starting to look more comfortable, despite it not being his real position. I'll go for Portland plus the points. I think this game's going to be close. So that's kind of my thoughts.
Yeah, I like Houston. And you know what we talked about Keegan Murray. I think Keegan Murray would be like a home run for Houston if they can get him. He can space the floor really, really well.
I think he kind of overlaps a bit too much with Jabari, personally. But
yeah,
skill sets, I see some similarities between the two.
That's fair. That's fair. Yeah, but I think it's just a quick revenge spot for them. Obviously, you talked about what they did. I mean, they're laying about the same number. I think they closed 7.5. So getting a little bit of a bargain here with the 6.5. I mean, they shot the ball horribly. I think they shot like 23% from 3, 65 from free throw line, and like 33 from the field. Like they were horrible for like 3.5 quarters. And Ime and the guys like talked about that. So I think they'll bounce back here. They dominated the glass as they typically always do. But I think Houston kind of course corrects here, gets things going. They are 1-4 ATS the last 5, and Portland's won and covered 4 straight, led by their defense. So I think we see kind of a low-scoring game, half-court style. But I do like Houston to kind of pull away late in the game. I think it'll be good down the stretch, and they'll pull away and win by 8 or 9. Something to watch for: Kevin Durant, 15 points away from passing Wilt Chamberlain for 7th all-time on a scoring list. So that's a feat that he probably will get to. I think he scored 20 points in like 12 straight. So I think that's something that he'll get to. So congrats to him on that in advance. But I like Houston to get it done while KD surpasses that milestone.
I mean, there should be a serious chip on their shoulder after losing that game to Portland. But at the same point, I still don't trust Houston in late-game situations. I know Durant hit the game-winning 3 against Phoenix, but there's been some pretty ugly fourth-quarter offense involving Houston that I don't really feel great about their ability to maintain a large lead if they get it in the first place. I don't know how good Portland is, but they play really hard, and they're entertaining. So I think that they'll keep this game close. If you want to go Houston, I don't mind 1-10, but I'll go for Portland in this home game. Moving on to the last game, Bucks taking on the Lakers. Lakers laying 3.5. The over-unders at 229.5. Injury report for Milwaukee. No Taurean Prince, but Giannis is playing. It's all that matters. For the Lakers, we have a couple of questionable tags. We have Rui, who's questionable, and LeBron, who's questionable. And, of course, Reeves is still out. The Lakers got smacked by San Antonio last game because they couldn't score. Luka had one of the most meaningless 38-point triple-doubles I've ever seen. But either way, the Spurs dominated from start to finish, and it was pretty ugly for the Lakers offense as a whole. For Milwaukee, they lost to Golden State. Giannis played well, but the team is not very good. So I'll ask you, Lonte, 3.5, potentially no LeBron. We'll see. If LeBron, I'll ask you, does LeBron's status solely determine your opinion on this game?
Nah, but I would rather him not play, to be honest. Yeah, I mean, I think the same way that I talk about the OKC checklist, the Lakers have a checklist as well. Are you athletic? Do you have athletic wings? And do you have players that can get to the rim and get by guys?
Basically, just dare Ayton to rim protect. That's kind of what you're just trying to do.
Yeah, I mean, and to my knowledge, Milwaukee doesn't have that. They're pretty much a similar team. I know Giannis is great, obviously, but I mean, they'll be able to handle him scoring 40 and everybody else doing nothing. Giannis is averaging 31.2 since returning from that calf strain. I think the Lakers win here. They won by 24 in the November meeting at Milwaukee. There was no LeBron, and Giannis played. I think Luka had like 40 in that game. The Lakers have been on a downfall, but again, they've kind of had those guys in and out of the lineup, and I think that's kind of messing with them. But I mean, like I said, that Lakers checklist, when all the things check right, I like the Lakers to get it done here. Milwaukee's an older team. They got no athletes, no perimeter defenders. I mean, the Lakers should thrive here. They're 11-8 ATS as a favorite. They've covered 3 of the last 5, although they haven't covered in 6 of the last 10. But, trending in the right direction. As soon as they get those guys back, they need to make a few moves to get better on the perimeter, obviously. But, that's something long term. But short term, I like them here in this spot against Milwaukee.
Yeah, for the record, you're mentioning long-term moves. I don't think they have any because your 3 best players can't guard anybody and they're getting paid a ton of money. But either way, they're going to try something. The Marcus Smart offensive possessions are pretty funny when you have Luka on the bench. I saw him airball 3 in the game against the Spurs. But, yeah, I mean, JT's going with Luka and Giannis PRAs. I mean, I don't mind that. I like Giannis in this game in general, but I think I will pick the Lakers, but I don't like this team. I don't like either team, so I'll go for the Lakers, but mainly because they're at home, and I don't really feel good about Milwaukee at all. Anyway, it's going to wrap it up for all the games on Friday. Time to run into the Lock and Dog picks. Before we get into Lock and Dog, a reminder brought to you by our sponsor, Novig. If you like prediction markets and sports, check out Novig, rated number 1 in America for sports prediction markets. And a reminder, get some reduced juice, get some great prices using Novig compared to sports books. And also, when you download the app, get a nice sign-up deal with us, $50 when you sign up. And you can only spend just $5. Great deal. Spend $5, get $50 in bonus funds. If you use the code SGPN at sign up, get on the actual Novig, promo code SGPN. We're also brought to you by Rhythm. They've been great this NFL season, especially on props, and you can also check them out for college basketball. If you want to experiment with models in sports betting, check out Rhythm. You can use either the house model, so Rhythm will just give you plays from their own model. You can build your own, or copy one from the leaderboard, and once again, get some plays there. For the games tonight, let me see what they like for the NBA, because they also have props. They are interested in Kelly Oubre over 12.5 PR at -106. That's a Rhythm play for you. But either way, a reminder, if you want to check out Rhythm, you can get a nice discount for the first month, courtesy of us. So if you use the code SGPN25, when you download the Rhythm app, get 25% off your first month. That's Rhythm, RATHMM, promo code SGPN25 for 25% off your first month at Rhythm. Welcome back, everyone, to the NBA Gaming Podcast. Finished going through the card for Friday. Time to go on into the Lock and Dog picks. Lonte, what's going to be your Lock and Dog for the show?
Yeah, so I'm going to take a road favorite. I'm going to take the Clippers minus the 4.5. I know it's moved up a little bit. I think it's still some meat on the bone. I don't trust Brooklyn to score. Like I said, there's no travel. They've been comfortable. The Clippers have in New York for quite some time. I think they'll be able to come in, lock in defensively. Kawhi playing doesn't really bother me at all. Actually, if he doesn't play, we'll probably get a little bit better number, to be honest. So I think it's a little bit too much respect for Brooklyn, who's playing well, but just I don't think they're on the same level as the Clippers, and I think they're discounting, what the Clippers have done with 2 losses where they've, kind of faltered in the second half. So I'll take minus 4.5 for the Clippers to get it done on the road. The dog, I like 2 dogs, and so I'll just parlay them together, get a bigger number. They're both short dogs. I like Phoenix at home. I like Washington at home. Parlay those together, get plus 355.
I'm just shocked with somebody taking the Wizards in the lock and dog section. So that kind of caught me off guard, but I respect it. Good price. I would. So there you go. For my lock, what do I want to go with here? Thought about the under in the Nuggets game, but I don't know if I actually want to take that. You know what? I think I'll just trust what I've seen in the head-to-head. And I know Embiid might not play, but I do think that Philly can score anyway. Give me the over in that game. 226.5. Each of the first two meetings were extremely high scoring. I think that you can see Philly's defense struggle. They've been involved in a bunch of high-scoring games lately. Orlando's defense has not been very good recently either. I'm not going to overreact to one good defensive game against the Nets, who we know can be offensively limited when it comes to depth scoring. Give me the over, 226.5 in the Magic game as my lock. For my dog, I'm going to go to Steven Adams over 10.5 rebounds at plus 167. He had 11 against Portland last game. At the end of the day, if Adams is going to be playing 30-plus minutes, he played 30 against Portland last game. And you said it before, Houston, the only reason why they were in the game was because of rebounding, because they couldn't shoot. So Adams had 11 in the last game, played 30-plus minutes, good enough for me. Give me Adams over 10.5 rebounds, plus 167 as my dog for the show. Anyway, moving on to the underdog entry. I kind of want to recycle the Adams rebounds. I think you'd co-sign that because you like Houston in the game.
Absolutely.
So we'll go for the rebounds here. Underdog has, I believe, 9.5 for Adams. So we'll take the higher on that. Any other players you want to go after?
I like Maxey, PRA. I mean, I just think the absence of Suggs is going to have him as a high usage guard. They use a lot of high pick and roll with him. I think you're getting probably some value because that number is probably with Embiid being on the floor. And I think his usage will even skyrocket more if he's off the floor. And I mean, he's probable right. I mean, he's probable right now. So who knows? But I do like Maxey, though.
Yeah, so you can find the Maxey PRA available at 40.5. So I'll take the higher on that. And then last but not least, let's see what we have.
I like J-Dub. I don't know if you like J-Dub.
I don't mind it, but I don't know if I really want to bet on a G League game.
Oh, yeah, that's fair.
You know, I mean, they should have a good matchup. But
what about Jamal Murray?
I can get behind that. If I was going to take Murray, though, I would have to throw in the assists as well.
Yeah, I would. So yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
I'd rather go for the PA.
Yeah, PA. Yeah.
Okay. His PA for this game is available at I see 37.5.
That's exactly what he's averaging in 4 games without Joker.
Yeah, last 3 games, 41, 43, 39. So there you go. All right, for Underdog, for the entry, we are going to go with Steven Adams, higher, 9.5 rebounds. Tyrese Maxey, higher, 40.5 PRA. And Jamal Murray, higher, 37.5 PA. Anyway, that's going to wrap it up for the show. It's going to wrap it up for the week. We'll be back once again on Monday. Lonte, anything else you want to add?
No, man, I hope everybody have a good weekend. Good sports weekend, man. Great sports weekend, actually. Good game last night. And, yeah, that's it.
Very good game. The U may be back before Texas, which is always pretty fun. But either way, till next time, a reminder to support the show. Like, subscribe on YouTube at the NBA Gambling Podcast, SGPN. Find it on Spotify or Apple. Same thing, SGPN, NBA Gambling Podcast. Find us on Twitter at Reichel Radio and XXLNTXX. Till next time,